What is up, guys? It's your boy here, Jersey Flex. Into this new year, 2022. This is the first video I am recording for the year of 2022. Welcome to this channel. If you're new to this channel, if you're a returning subscriber, thanks for being faithful to this channel. I'm going to ask that you guys go down, crush that subscribe button, as that's what keeps this channel going. Stay tuned, and like I always say, thanks for being faithful to this channel if you are returning. Before we get into this video, as you could tell by the title of this video, we are going to be discussing Winstrol. Everything you need to know about the typically oral steroid Winstrol. And before we get into any of that, I just want to give a shout out to our sponsor, HTLT Supplements. If you guys don't know, I've been partnered with Greg Doucette. If you guys are interested in checking out any of these supplements, go down into the description below where I'm going to leave a link where you guys could browse all the HTLT supplements yourselves if you are interested. And I'm also going to leave a link down below in the description if you guys are interested in one-on-one personal training and coaching by yours truly. So go down, do that, subscribe, and we're going to roll the intro and get this video started. Boom!
Maybe it's a new beginning. Maybe it's the start of where it ends. I know. There's no going back, and I'm loving the chase.
So I think it's only fair to begin the discussion of the popularly known Winstrol by kind of discussing a little bit about the history of Winstrol. So for those of you guys who don't know, and for anyone, I just put a little medical tongue twister. I put a little medical disclaimer after my intro because just to kind of re-emphasize what you guys saw in that little medical disclaimer. This video was made specifically for educational purposes only, for entertainment only. Whether I personally have used the compound or not, you know, I do give full transparency. So you guys can DM me through my Instagram, which is also down below, to find out that. But, you know, I'm very open about any usage. I do not promote the use of anything. This is just for educational purposes only, so you guys can learn about these pharmaceuticals. In the event of any usage, it should not be granted without doctor prescription and doctor supervision in a legal practice, you know, so just putting that out there. So let's give a little bit about the history of Winstrol. Winstrol is notoriously known for athletic abuse. It is actually probably the steroid that is most famous for the banning of steroids. Steroids were used in medical practice up until the point where Winstrol was, you know, sorry, I'm getting a text message. Winstrol was being found in the system of athletes, even in competitive horses. So Barry Bonds is actually one of the most popular athletes that was popped for steroid usage, and that was Winstrol that was found in his system. So let's discuss a little bit about the difference between the doses for athletic performance and the doses for bodybuilding doses. So for athletic performance, typically the dosage would be about 10 milligrams, nothing really more than that. It'll give a substantial amount of muscular endurance and strength increase without increasing so much of the body weight. So that's why it's very famously known for athletes that need to maintain a specific body weight. So your typical boxers, fighters, MMA, jiu-jitsu, those kind of guys that are trying to increase their strength levels without increasing too much their body weight, they're typically going to lean towards using something like Winstrol, which is a dry, hardening kind of drug that will increase strength and stamina without increasing body weight. So that being said, and when you get into more of the cosmetic sides of this pharmaceutical, those are more typically the higher doses, like the bodybuilding doses. They're going to be the higher doses on that end of the spectrum, unfortunately. So us guys that are too worried about checking ourselves out in the mirror, we're interested in going to the gym, getting off to ourselves by doing bicep curls in the mirror, we're the ones that are going to have to take the higher doses on that end of the spectrum just to look better. So that being said, for a bodybuilder, those doses are going to range more like 25 milligrams daily, or even a little bit higher, like 30 to 40. For me personally, I wouldn't do anything more than what's it called, 25 milligrams. So that being said, about 25 milligrams being my preferable bodybuilding dosage, let's get into the scope of the toxicity levels, because Winstrol is a very rare compound in the sense that it's the same in the chemical structure as it is orally as it is in the injectable form. So it's found in two different forms of administration, the oral pill and also the water suspension liquid that can be injected. And for anyone who doesn't know, that's a very painful injection due to the fact that it is a water suspension. And for any guys who are experienced out there with injecting intramuscular for gains in terms of anabolics, things that are water suspension will not create lumps, and they won't sit there subdermally under the skin. So you're not going to have a lump of oil sitting there, but it is very painful. So so what's the difference? That's something I do want to get to. What's the difference with taking the oral form and taking the water suspension injection? The answer to that is none. There is no difference between taking the injection or the oral pill, or even taking, you can actually, believe it or not, for those of you who do not know, you are able to take the water suspension and use it kind of like a dropper, like you would with a SARM or a sublingual administration. You are able to do that because chemically, Winstrol is the same in its structure as it is with the capsule, with the injection, the water suspension formula. It is the same chemically as it is in capsule and in the injection form. So you can actually take the liquid and swallow it. So it is the only steroid out there that I know of that you can actually do both with. Inject it the same way you can take it orally. So what's the difference? That's what you probably want to know. Most of the time people inject because it reduces toxicity. Most of these things are methylated compounds that have to run through the liver to become water soluble, then excreted, through the kidneys, and that's how they get filtered out of your body, because these things are toxic regardless of how good they make you look. What's the difference? Why would you inject it if it's so painful? The answer is none. It is equally as toxic as it is orally, as it is injectable. There is no reason to inject it. So, in my opinion, and it's extremely liver toxic. It does not bypass the liver. It does not break down in the liver. It just runs through the liver, and it is equally toxic in both the injectable and oral form. So something to note, if you are looking to inject it and you are willing to go through that pain, you're still going to put your body under the same toxicity level if you just take it in capsule form. So be mindful. So the fact that I've mentioned already that it is very liver toxic can bring me into the next piece of discussion I want to mention, is that you should not run it longer than 4 to 6 weeks. It's really known as a polishing steroid. It's not so much as a mass gainer. It's something that you would use typically for peaking in terms of a bodybuilding show or a modeling gig, or looking good in front of a camera. If you're an actor and you want to look good for a couple scenes in a movie, you have to be shirtless for whatever reason, you have a yacht or a boat party to go to, Winstrol is really what's going to dry and harden and give you that polished look on the beach or whatever. Or whether you're just an egotistic maniac, a narcissist that wants to look amazing in front of all the honeys in the gym, Winstrol is the right compound for you. Again, consult your doctor, because you may have mental issues if you just want to look good in front of a mirror. But yeah, that's what Winstrol is generally used for. It should not be run longer than 6 weeks, in my opinion. So really try and use it, and it's fast acting. It's fast acting, so it's going to work immediately. It's an oral. You're going to notice it maybe an hour or two after the first dose, and it's going to be working full blast in your system after a couple days to a week, depending on who you are and how it binds in your body. But it works pretty quickly. Just keep in mind that it's very toxic, so don't stay on it for long. And I do not recommend anybody with higher than 10%, 10 or 12, 10 to 12% body fat to really take it, because it's not going to really do much. Like I said, it's a finisher, it's a polishing steroid, so you have to put in the work. The diet has to be really good. It's extremely liver toxic, so you want to do everything in your power to reduce any form of damage in your body. You want to be eating clean, and like I said, it dries you, it hardens you. So it's going to remove all the water from, not only subdermally, it's going to remove the water in between your skin and muscle. So it's going to thin your skin out. It's going to make you look hard. It's going to pull all that water out. But it's also, it even goes as far to remove the synovial fluid from within your joints. So that's where a lot of bodybuilders, you're going to hear complain about the joint pain that comes with Winstrol. So, you know, it's not going to really do much if you're carrying a lot of fat, because even if it pulls out that water, you're not going to get that hard, dry, defined look that Winstrol is known for, because you still have fat tissue to, you know, to lose. So it's really something that you do at the end of your cut, you know, to be honest. That's really where I recommend the usage. And again, not longer than 4 to 6 weeks, and really do the timing well so you look your best during the usage of it. So another side effect that Winstrol is typically known for, because it is a synthetic DHT derivative compound. So Winstrol is basically straight DHT. I'm going to say that again. Dihydrotestosterone. Winstrol is straight DHT. So when people complain about hair loss from steroids, you do get that with Tren, you get that with Anavar, but you definitely get that, and you get that with Masteron as well, but you definitely get that with Winstrol. Winstrol is a DHT derivative. For those who don't know, dihydrotestosterone. DHT is also found in its own supplement form. You can get it at a pharmacy. Dihydrotestosterone is basically, it is used for sexual function. Don't want to dive too much into that topic because YouTube is a little bit case sensitive with using those words, but it is used for male performance in that regards. So it is necessary in the body, but DHT is responsible for hair loss. It's the hormone or the androgen that directly attacks the follicles. So there are ways to prevent that, and it's not by using an AI. An aromatase inhibitor, what that does is it prevents hormones from converting into estrogen or, you know, DHT or whatever it may be. So if you take something that's going to prevent a hormone from turning into DHT, it's not going to do anything in the case of taking Winstrol. Winstrol is already a DHT compound, so keep this in mind. If you are taking Winstrol and you expect an AI or something like that to prevent it from turning into DHT, it's not going to do anything, because Winstrol is already a DHT. It only bypasses things such as testosterone, because testosterone has to convert into DHT. Keep this in mind. If it's something that converts into DHT, an AI will help you. If it's something that's already an AI, like Winstrol, Anavar, this is not going to help you. So what you do have to take is things like M2 Guard, which is good for your scalp. M2 Guard. I'm going to say that again. That is something that it's basically like a shampoo, and what it does is it keeps the androgens away from the follicles, basically. So it's like Novadex keeps, you know, the estrogen away from your nipples. Is same concept. It will not stop the production of estrogen, but it keeps it away from the area you don't want it to be in. That's what that shampoo is going to do. So that's something to look into, ways to keep DHT away from hair follicles if you are considering taking Winstrol and you are someone who's very sensitive to hair loss. I do have to mention that because Winstrol is like known for hair loss. So that's, you know, more fun facts for you guys. So again, do a little brief recap of what I mentioned. For athletic performance, The range is typically 5 to 15 milligrams. For bodybuilding, it's about 25 to 40 milligrams a day. The oral form, now let's talk about drug detection. That's a great topic to dive into after that little recap. Because some of you guys are tested athletes, some of you guys that watch this, you guys want the athletic performance. You guys watch my channel so you guys can get educated on steroids, so you guys can figure out how you can use them to avoid those drug tests. And again, you should not do anything without contacting your doctor first. I'm going to pretend like I didn't say that or hear that. So for drug screening, this will stay in your system. The oral form will stay in your system for about 1 week. The injectable form is detectable up to 3 weeks. Again, do not take my word on it. I do not want to get an email saying you told me 3 weeks, you told me 1 week, you told me 2 weeks, and for you guys to come back and say, hey, I failed the test, now I got kicked off my college soccer team, and it's all your fault. Again, this is general knowledge. For some people, depending on the duration they took, the dosage they took, etc., etc. And also these screenings, these drug screenings are getting very, very, they're getting very, strong in terms of detecting things that you did in the past. They'll pick up even the smallest traces that are still in your system. So really do this at your own risk if that's something that you're dumb enough like me to be doing. So I just kind of want to leave you guys with that. That basically wraps up our video discussion today about Winstrol. If there's anything in this video that you guys might have felt that I personally left out, feel free to leave that down in the comments below. Also, I'm going to mention again, check out our supplement line, HTLT. And if you guys are interested in any online coaching or training of any kind, feel free to check out my website, which is in the description below, thejerseyflex.com. Check it out, where you guys can send me a message on there and have a free phone consultation with me. So check that out if you guys are interested. Until next time, guys, go down, pound that subscribe button. Thank you very much. Let's roll that freaking outro. Boom!